Start off by, addressing the past game, and we'll go from there and start taking questions. Certainly, you walk away from that game understanding that losing isn't what we are going to become accustomed to. And I'm really proud. I'm really proud of our guys. The effort that they gave, the execution was better, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. We had a misalignment right before the half, gave up an explosive play, and we got to eliminate those things. And the thing that we were able to do, we showed some resilience. They got it down inside the 10 and or near the 10, and we were able to stop them on the 4th and 1 and get out of the drive. That's a positive, and we can build on that. We can build on that. But again, the execution overall was better than it's been, but is it where it needs to be? Absolutely not. We started yesterday, and again, there were some tackles in that game that we should have made. We started again yesterday working on technique, fundamentals, and that's what it's all about. And we're going to continue to push the envelope until we get to where we want to be. The exciting thing about that is our players are responding, and they're like sponges. They want to take it all in. They want to get better. So that gives you a great opportunity. And with that said, like I said again, repeating, proud of the effort, but we're still not at our standard, and we got to keep growing. I'll start with questions now.
Hey, Chief, Chavis was just in here saying that he's probably going to need to use more starters on special teams. I assume that means probably using more of your guys. How do you feel about that? Because I know it's probably a fine line. You want to keep starters fresh, but obviously you want to make plays on special teams.
It's simple. We got to do what we got to do to win. And if that's going to help us, I'm all for it. I'm all in. And that's what we'll do. And it's not unusual for defensive starters to be starters on 1 or 2 special teams, okay? And, obviously, we're trying to develop depth, and that's where we'd rather have our twos in there and rest them some on defense and have our best players on special teams, and I'm all for it.
You have firsthand knowledge of A&M and what they want to do offensively. Can you talk about what they want to do and your insight maybe into personnel?
Well, I don't have a firsthand knowledge of what they want to do. It's been a long time since I coached against Coach Fisher. It's been back at Tennessee. It's been a long time. I can hardly remember. So, but you got film. You got film, and you work around that. And certainly, I will tell you this: what I do know, we're playing a very, very talented team. Probably 6 receivers that could play anywhere in the country. I think the quarterback. I think they've done a great job. With the change in system. Giving him some things to do. He's a great runner. I think he rushed for 150 yards, but he lost some in sacks last week. He's very capable of doing that. And again, he's on track to be a 3,000-yard passer. And he's got good people around him. They got a couple young guys in the offensive line, but guess what? Everybody's playing with young guys somewhere. They got a junior and senior and 3 sophomores. Jim Turner's who I do know a good bit about. Is a really, really outstanding offensive line coach. And, he's got a track record of that. So you look at it, and it's a very talented team. And they're well coached. They know what they want to do, and it's our job to try to prevent them from it.
Yes, do you provide the offense, since you know their defensive personnel so well, you and Coach Cooper both, do you provide some input on that to the offensive staff? And also, personally, does this game mean anything different for you?
Not personally. I mean, it's important, and it's a big game, and it's important because it's our next game, and that's what we're looking forward to. We want to get better. We want to get better every week out, and we can't take 2 steps forward and take a step back. We got to keep pushing to be better. So it's an exciting game, and it's a big game because it's our next game. There's no question we're playing in the SEC. When we talk about the quality of people that we're playing against, that's what we're going to play against almost week in and week out. And they don't have any deficiencies there, and that's good for them. So we got to get up to that level, and we got to keep pushing, and that's why I'm excited, because we got an opportunity to go out tomorrow, get this team better, see how far we can push, and then you got an opportunity on Saturday to go see where you are.
Saturday, Coach, and what went into him getting more playing time, and how did he do, and
Well, I think he performed well. Certainly, we're pushing the envelope. We're trying to get better, and if it means changing some things around or personnel a little bit, then that's what we're going to do. But I was pleased. First play of the game, he's got an opportunity to make a big play. When we got a sack, he forced an incomplete pass. But you'd like for him to go in there and make that sack on the first play of the game. That kind of turns that drive around. But no, he's doing a good job for us, and we're going to keep moving guys in and out until we're sure we got the 11 best on the field.
John, getting Ramsey back for really, I guess, a full game, and Dre, what did that bring to your defense, those two guys?
Well, it brought some senior leadership. And certainly you don't have to be a senior to be a leader. That's not what I'm saying. But it brought some guys that have played a lot of football. And, it made a difference, and having those two guys out there, your pass rush is better. Not that it was poor before. And you got a guy that can communicate at the linebacker position. And, I think this, probably played him too many plays with Dre. But, we were playing well enough, and I didn't want to disturb what was going on out there. But, it's great to have them out there. They can communicate and do those things, and it makes everything flow a lot smoother. And I think even on the bench, in between possessions, and that's where it's really, really important, having a guy like Dre that is playing in the game and his input on the sideline and his input on keeping people up. There's not a price you can put on that. That was tremendous, and he did a great job of it all night long.
That kind of leads into my question. I know they only played, I think, 58 snaps or something, but I think overall you're probably playing your linebackers and your safeties and corners more than you had hoped to play them in terms of the percentage of snaps and stuff. How do you get to that point with Mason, Fouché, and some of the other younger guys at linebacker where you can play them a little bit more to relieve the starters?
Well, it's a process, that's ongoing. And, when we get them in there, they got to show us that they know what to do. They got to show us that they're ready for SEC football, and that's happening. We're getting closer and closer. It's a lot easier, to get defensive linemen in the game, because if they make a mistake, somebody can cover it up. On the back end, if there's a mistake made, usually somebody's band's playing and it won't be ours. So, that's, but we're pushing in that direction. Mason and Fouché are both going to be really, really good players. And, sometimes as coaches, you're a little bit nervous about when to get them in the game, and we got to make that happen. We got to continue to make that happen, and that's a big priority for us.
Chief, you practiced against Rakeem Boyd, obviously, when you were at A&M. I guess he was probably on the scout team. You've practiced against him here. Just from a defensive standpoint, what impresses you about his game? What makes him a good running back?
Well, he's got some speed, and he's got some ability to run behind his pads and stick his foot in the ground and make somebody miss. And, that's what good running backs got to be able to do, They got to gain some extra yards after contact, and then they got to be able to stick their foot in the ground and make a cut and take the ball on down the field. And he's got a good bit of that. So that's the thing that you see first of all.
Kevin, I know he played some last week on special teams. Kevin Richardson, do you anticipate him maybe getting some defensive snaps this week, second week back?
Yeah, we'll see as practice goes along. We'll see as practice goes along, and we got a lot of work to do before we decide or make some of those decisions. They'll be made on how well our guys practice in our next 2 days of practice.
And this obviously A&M's, won 6 in a row, and you I think you won 3 in a row over there. Kind of what do you think? What's your take on this series? There's been some crazy overtime games, and what's it like being on both sides of it now? Well,
I hadn't been on this side until this week, so so I'm finding out along with everybody else. But no, let me tell you this. Football is played on that field. It doesn't matter which team's over there. You're over here with your team, and what we focus on is getting our team ready to execute and play as well as we can. And that part of it never changes. And obviously, it's a big game because you're talking about two teams that moved from a different conference or the same conference. They were in the same conference before they came to the SEC. So there's a lot of history before, So, but no, our approach is going to be the same. It's Team X over here, and it's our team over here, and we got to be able to go execute and do the things that we need to do to be competitive and win.
I think you're in the top 15 or 20 in rushing defenses. What has gone into that number? What has helped you guys be an effective run stop team so far?
Well, I think it's, a lot of things, and again, the more we can get to that, the better we're going to be. And, we found different ways to do it, but it's about numbers in the box. It's about showing them a 5-man box and ending up playing a 6 or a 7-man box. And, teams that are spread teams, they don't want to run in a 7-man box. I mean, that's kind of, hard territory. But our philosophy has never changed. It's going to be, numbers versus the run and speed versus the pass. And I mean rushers. And that's what we try to build our defense around. There's no secrets about that. We got to have those great guys off the edge, and also those great guys off the edge sometimes with penetration end up making plays that help you in the backfield in the run game as well.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you very much.